is July 6, 2012, and we have part 2 of the doubleheader with Bob Roos, and he's going to talk about pop-up menus. Go for it. Thanks.
All right. Well, good morning and welcome. We're going to talk about menus and pop-up menus actually, because there's a lot of overlap in what you can do between the two things. Putting a menu on a window is pretty easy. You can go into the description and no, that's not where it is. It's here. Windows, main menu, add the main menu, and now you have a main menu. A lot easier than some other language I've used. You can add additional menu options and so on. I illustrate this because a lot of the commands are the same. One thing about pop-ups is that they're created sort of on the fly. Not like this. You did a Windows and then add the main menu. If you want to add a pop-up to a control, you click on the control, the description, and then going to the GUI, the pop-up menu down here shows you can display either the standard AAF system menu and or you can add a pop-up menu to it. Now, if you have them both checked, then they'll both be on there. If you add the pop-up menu, then you have the option of the existing menus, or you can drop this down and you can create a new pop-up menu. And this is really the first thing that you have to do. You have to have a base pop-up menu control in order to be able to build on it dynamically. I'm building a static pop-up menu. So let's take a look at what that might look like. You have a menu item and exactly the same sorts of things that you did before. Give it the, we're editing the, come here. So this would be like the top level. Okay, and then if you want to add a submenu under that, you can either insert another menu item of the same level after or before, or a separator, or you can change this into a submenu. So now it becomes then the parent of a submenu. And it will display out to the side, either side, depending on where your thing is located. And you can add additional members after this. Okay, now after you've built the static pop-up menu, you say, well, what do you want the program to do when the user clicks submenu 1? Right-click and code, and there you go. You can put in whatever instructions you want to have happen for that submenu, and you can go back and you can do the other one, and so on and so forth. This is all completely static. It's all done at program design time. Now, the question is, all right, if you want to have a dynamic menu, that is one that changes based on the context, things get a little more complicated, and you have to start using some different commands. And the easiest way to find out, to get a list of those commands, is to go to the online help, and there is a whole page of functions for managing the menus. And then menu add would let you dynamically add a a menu item into the main menu of the window. That was the first one we built. And then you can add submenus to it by doing an add menu, or add an option which is the same level as the preceding thing. We'll talk more about the details of doing this. I've not tried cloning a menu or deleting a menu. Well, actually, I'll show you what delete is and exist. You can do all kinds of things with menus. You can have check marks in the menus, and mark them and unmark them. Okay. And also, one of the very cool things is there's a page called Menus and Menu Options, Tips and Tricks. And there's a whole bunch of different little hints here about different things that you can do, how you can color in the menus. You can add help. You can have code that executes before a pop-up. And the third thing in the help is properties associated with a menu or a menu option. And there are a lot of different properties in WINDEV, and they also apply to many things. So, I mean, caption, applies to windows and menus. And so it's outlined here in the help as to which things pertain specifically to menu options. So those 3 pages are incredibly helpful. And I read, when I was trying to do a dynamic pop-up menu, I read through all of this stuff, and I read through it, and I read through it, and I looked at all the different functions. I went through each one of these things. And the question that I was trying to answer is how, when the user selects a dynamically built menu option, how do I get control? How do I know which one the user selected? And I wasn't finding the answer anywhere. I went to the free help service, WINDEV, and I didn't get a satisfying answer. And we went back and forth several times, and of course that took a few weeks. And then what I finally found out was that in the menu add option, there is, out here at the very end, something called procedure name and procedure parameters. And they don't make it very obvious. I mean, I completely overlooked this thing. But when the user clicks on this option that you add, this procedure gets control with this parameter. And that's how you know which option the user chose. And we'll show you that in more detail now in the code. But that was probably the biggest, most confusing thing for me in trying to figure out how to do this. Because here, you know what you got. You got code. But when it's built dynamically, you don't have that option. And let's look at this. Okay. So here is a button, and when we right-click on this button, let's look at the code. What I'm going to do is this clears all of the dynamically built pop-up menu items that have been built, because if you don't clear them, then you'll get a nastygram at runtime. So then when you right-click on that button, this is where the dynamic menu is built. And you add an option, add a submenu, add another option under the submenu. And yes, okay, this add option you see, well, add menu. You add to the menu pop-up, you add a sub-option menu, and now the next, that sub-option or that submenu becomes menu pop-up dot submenu 1, and that's the name of the item, and then we add another content. This will make more sense maybe when I show you what I actually used in Helper. But this is the procedure for building this, and we can run it, and oh, come on, reconnect. Hello, hello. Oh, okay. So if we right-click this, there are the menu items that we built dynamically, and you click on something, and it shows here the parameter that was passed. It's not very sophisticated. Now, interestingly enough, remember I said that you had to clear them? If I right-click on this again, I get a message that says the opt1 already exists in the menu pop-up because I didn't clear it. So what I will do is go back and we'll run this again, and we'll clear it, and then we got our dynamically built menu. Okay, and if I click on this button, that executes the clear, and now I can pop it back up again. That was a little frustrating for me to keep finding out that I had originally cleared the menu, but I'd cleared it in the wrong place, and then I wasn't getting anything in the pop-up procedure. So let's actually go look at some real pop-ups, because that's, I think, maybe what makes it
clear it?
clear.
Yes,
This code here clears it. Okay.
Just
While
there, huh?
enum menu, yeah, enum menu is starts enumerating the menu items at whatever this parameter is. And so I just say, what is the second menu line? And if it's not blank, delete it. And then whatever was in the third position now becomes the second position. And so I delete it, and I delete it, and I delete it until there's nothing to drop into the second position. And then the whole thing's gone. I wrote and suggested that they have a menu delete, menu name, comma, all, and then they're all gone, and you don't have to do this silly loop. And they thought that was a good idea. So that may be one of the 900 and something in the 18 version, I hope. So that's how you clean up a dynamically built menu. And here you can see, well, let's go to the helper, because I think that's really better. Let's get this thing out of the way. I have two monitors here, and so I just like to shove the error. Oh, that's the wrong one. All right, come on, you. Get out of there. Okay, this is the helper program. Let's run it just to show you what dynamically built menus look like. That's curious. Ignore the background. Well, let's just get it out of the way. Oh, too far out of the way. Okay, this is the first screen in the helper program. This is a list of all of the different modules in QuickBooks that we could be interacting with, and these are the different options within those modules that we could be working with. And what I want to show here, though, is that there is a right-click menu. And what I've done at this level is actually incorporated the standard menu, where you can do all of these different things to a table, and then my additional pop-up. And these are fixed pop-ups. Change the helper settings, okay? And so it calls the options part of this, okay? Restore or save a previously built-up database fields, or view an XML files, or look at the About screen, okay? So that's a fixed pop-up and the standard pop-up mixed together. So let's just pick one of these things. We'll take add request for an account, and now you have the different things, and the pop-up menu that comes up is going to be very different based on the line that we're dealing with. Because this is a group, an aggregate item, we have the option to clear the names, add text, various generation options. You can look at all the different possible generation type options when you're on a group. You can choose a new module so that it takes you back to the original screen, and we can actually go to a different module. So you can see that for an aggregate, there's one set. For just a regular item type, completely different kind of a pop-up menu. Generate menu looks very different. Some of the things are the same. Choose a new menu module, change the prefix. Anyway, so that's why pop-ups were so incredibly important to me in this application, because I had so much stuff that was dependent on the context of each of these different data types and whether or not the names are filled in and all kinds of stuff. And so this is a fixed menu here. This is always the same. By clicking down here in the non-variable part. Okay. So that's what it looks like in the program. Now let's go see how I built it and execute it. Okay. Build a pop-up menu. This is the procedure that is called when you do the right click. Okay, and it's passed a parameter that says the subscript number of the line that you're on, so that it can get some information about the context. Okay, set up a couple of Boolean switches based on whether or not this field is allowed to occur multiple times, and whether or not there's any data in the clipboard. Here's our famous menu cleanup, where it deletes everything in the menu so that I'm building it fresh. And then, actually, before we go here, you see I keep using, I start with menu pop-up. That's not a fixed name. It is the name of the control in this window. Menu pop-up. Okay. I want to show you this. And originally, I struggled with this because in order to build a dynamic menu, you have to have a fixed control defined on the window, in the window structure, that is a pop-up menu. And I thought, well, how on earth, if I've got to start with something, it's going to look kind of funny. So I said, all right, choose one of the transactions below, and I built up on this. And then one day it hit me that all I had to do was to go in here and uncheck the visible box. And now it doesn't matter. This menu item is invisible and doesn't need to appear in the display. But what I should do is to get rid of the little separator line, because that was not invisible, and now it's gone. Good. So this option here, see, and this is where the name is, menu pop-up. I could make that anything I wanted, but I just left it menu pop-up. Okay. So this is the base of the dynamic code that we were looking at.
Hey, Bob?
Yeah.
Bob? Is that menu pop-up
yes?
on a separate window? Is that on a separate window? Or is it just a control?
It is a control. It is a control of this window. Show fields, and it's a control of this window. And you get to it, you create it by right-clicking, description, and you go to the GUI tab and the pop-up menu. And I've disabled the pop-up for this right now, but down, I'm sorry, let's see, it's right here. I created, well, it's not there.
Because I was kind of confused
But
on
anyway,
how
that's how
you
you
got to
create
it.
it.
Okay, but it puts it on the
I
side
got
as a
to it.
separate, right there
Yeah, it's a
on the
control. It's a control
Explorer.
that's not on the window.
Okay, that's what was
If you
confusing to
go over
me. It
here
looked
to
like it
the,
was in a.
yeah, it's a window control, but it's not on the window, and it was
Okay.
created. Oh, I know why. It's part of the window itself. So if I right click, now that's the status area. I need to get a little bit of the, hello, mouse. What the heck? There we go. Hang on. I'm using Synergy to connect two computers, and let me see if that's what's messing me up. Ah! Too much stuff. I got my mouse, my real mouse covered here. All right. This I need to make this window a little bit bigger, I think. Go away. To be able to get into that. Oh, come on. All right. No, that's the control. That's one bad feature of this automatic expansion is that you can't. There. All right. Description. GUI. And now here is the, there's menu pop-up. Okay. That's how I built the very first one. Right-click on the background of the window and go into the GUI tab, and then the pop-up menu options, and then there's an option here to create a new pop-up menu. And that's how you create the base menu. That's how I created it. And then in addition to that one, come here. Oh, here, it's this. I also have a menu called right-click pop-up and show fields options that I use for other things. So you can have multiple pop-up menus, and then the fixed pop-up menus are built out of whatever control that they're on. And I used the window as the base because it was a little more global. Okay? So let's put this out. I'll get this back later. So that's how the base was built. And now we'll go into the code back to, whoops, back to local procedures, build, pop-up menu. All right, here we go. All right. So having cleared the menus, I can then start building it based on various parameters and things that that come up. And I won't go into the details about all of this, but a little further down the line here, you'll see add a separator, and then in this context here, I'm going to add separator. I was trying to find an add menu. Okay, here. If there are pending lines in the clipboard, I want to add a menu, and I'm going to add that to the base menu pop-up. I'm going to call it C0 and give it a text in the menu line of clipboard. Then, if I'm going to add options to that submenu that I just started, that's called menu pop-up.c0. And the first menu line that I'm going to add is something I'm calling PL1. Okay, pending lines 1. So this then is the menu line name. This is the text that is in that menu line, and you can see that I can build it very dynamically based on the context. This is the procedure name that I'm going to go to, and I adopted the naming convention that my menu line name and my parameter were going to be the same. And I'll show you when we get to the pop-up handler what that really means. Okay, now this particular item takes lines off the clipboard and puts them into a menu so that you can select them. And so what I have here is dynamically building then in this loop for each of the lines in the clipboard. I am building one line, putting in the text of the line, and then I'm giving it a name of PL and the line number. Kind of cool. Someplace in here I actually have redirection. Redirection, indirection too, which really worked slick. That was the first time I used it. Okay. Anyway, you can see all the different options and everything that you have to go through, and basically it's just a repetition of add option, add separator. I could have checkboxes in there. I could have them checked or unchecked based on what I needed to do. And then after I get the menu built, I say open pop-up menu, and I give it the X and Y coordinates where I want it to open up. Okay, so now the user is faced with that pop-up menu and clicks something. And I go then to Pop-up Handler. And Pop-up Handler gets the parameter that was passed, and I just made all of those codes, and I made the codes in such a way that the first character of the code kind of groups them. So I have a switch based on the very first character so that I can find in this myriad list of options, so I can find things easier. And then I have another switch case for the whole code. And I just kind of stayed with the switch paradigm, even though in some cases, like for D, there's only one possible option. I might add others later, and this makes it easier to add them. And that is really what happens. So I execute whatever code is necessary to whatever functions are necessary to perform based on the particular item. Generate all. Okay, it calls the generate code procedure, A for all, and then some parameters about what the line the user was on, and so on down the line. So once those functions are finished, then review here. This is whether or not there's any pending lines to be processed, and I do a table select to get myself on the proper line, making note at the beginning of the procedure where the user had clicked, and then some of these functions may actually change what the focus line should be, and so then I pick it up and reset that, do a table display, and that's, then it goes back to the normal thing. The user sees the results of the pop-up on the screen and does whatever else they need to do. Pop-ups are really slick. I liked it. I liked the Clarion pop-up, and the dynamic one, the one in the class, the pop-up class, and I used it in Helper extensively and built just this same kind of thing, finding that this actually is even easier than the Clarion one. So that, in a nutshell, is pop-up menus. I don't know. Are there any questions?
You know what? I don't know what happened, but something happened when you did you move? Did you? I can't get to the questions.
Oh.
You did something in here that went over it.
Yeah, Opera. Wait a minute. Opera went to full screen here.
Did you go to full screen?
I don't know why that.
Yeah, undo.
This went. Yeah. I don't know how to unfull screen it.
Let me see if I can do something else. Pod chat. Chat. I'm going to undo it, then I'm going to redo it.
I thought,
Uh,
oh,
yeah, when you went in there,
F11.
you did something and it just like, okay, here. Now I'm going to,
There.
uh,
I can get
throw it up
opera out of
here.
the way, and this out of the way, and this out of the way, this out of the way.
Here, if anybody has questions, here we go. I'm just putting it on top. You can bring your screen back. It's all right.
Oh, all right.
I just threw it up.
That would
I just threw it up
be
on top.
this one. Code editor, win show fields.
Okay, I'm gonna just drop it right above. Okay, very nice usage of. Yeah, I think so too. I love how you dive into a topic, just like the last time.
Well, I needed this. I desperately needed this. This was a very important part of the helper program, and I just wasn't getting it. I mean, I read and I read and I read, and it just wasn't coming through. And um, so I did have to dig into this pretty deep. And actually, that was the same for arrays and queues and and everything. That again, just an incredibly important part of this process. And I love WinDev. I absolutely love it. I'm excited and hope I can get some time to actually finish this thing. My
Well,
consulting business
it's
has
looking
picked
good.
up, and
Well, good for
yeah, I
you.
think so.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm excited about this. So, anybody have any
Well,
questions now or later? I'm
yeah, go ahead and
certainly
type in.
around.
Otherwise, I have to like cut it off here shortly. But I have to thank Bob, you and Ben for saving us at least a day or two of searching. So the beauty of these webinars have come through again.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, I guess that's it then. I'm going
All right.
to stop the recording. And again, thanks to both of you. I will chat with you later. I'm really interested in your table. Maybe, yeah, maybe in another
What did
webinar
that? It
if Bob
disappeared.
wants to.
Oh, what? Oh, how I built the
He
table and
says,
everything? What?
well, the check marks and all this other stuff. He says you make it look pretty. So,
That was incredibly easy to build. I'll put up a Skype. I have a video on how I did that. I'll put the link up on Skype.
okay. Yeah, if you Skype me the link, I'll put it with your recording too. So,
Oh,
so they don't
okay.
have to look in two
Okay.
places. So, alrighty, I will post this after
All right.
the Clarin Live webinars this afternoon. Okay, take care, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Okay. All right.